Welcome to InfoHub. In our headlines, Prime Minister and Attorney General clear the air on President's appointment of GCOM chairman. Government's investment in livestock sector sees profits, and Public Infrastructure Ministry innovating to bridge hinterland and coastal communities. Stay tuned for the details of these and more. And now for the details. Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu and Attorney General Basil Williams today made it clear that President David Granger acted in accordance with Article 161(2) of the Constitution when he appointed retired Justice James Patterson as chairman of the Ghana Elections Commission. Stacey Carmichael has the details.
The Attorney General during a televised program stated categorically that President David Granger did not act unilaterally when he appointed the GCOM chair. According to the senior counsel, the Constitution clearly states that if the President rejects the list submitted, he can appoint an individual who meets the criteria of a retired judge, is a judge, or can be a judge.
The leader of the opposition was operating all the time on the basis that in his list, he should have someone there who should be chairman of GCOM. Unfortunately, that is not what the law is. Secondly, when making such a decision under Article 111, the President is empowered to do so by his own deliberate judgment. And under Article 182, it's very clear that the President is not personally liable for the acts that he performed in executing his functions. In other words, he has immunity.
His arguments were supported by Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu, who noted that the democratic right of Guyanese cannot be compromised on the whims and fancies of opposition leader Bar Jagdeo.
The list that was submitted by Dr. Jagan and Mr. Hoy, when they were respectively opposition leader, were invariably acceptable, clean lists. But the ones Jagdeo submitted was like this film I saw by Robert Redford, an indecent proposal. He had to get somebody in there that he had an interest in to become the chairperson. And that is a dishonest approach.
He noted further that Jagdeo failed to honor his constitutional duty of providing a list of 6 persons deemed not unacceptable. PM Nagamutu believes that Jagdeo should be the one to be hauled over the coals for making a mockery of the Constitution. He believes the opposition leader contaminated the process and tried to take control by delaying the process which started since December 2016. For InfoHub, Stacey Carmichael.
Local and international stakeholders are gathered in Georgetown for the National Aviation Safety Conference. In his address, Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu remarked that the recent worrying occurrences in the aviation sector, such as when 2 pilots were lost in a period of 3 months, is one too many.
For the aviation industry to be viable and profitable, it must provide safety on the ground as well as in the air. Safety is not just a government concern. Safety is the business of the aviation sector. Safety is central to the civil aviation system. Safety is not only about protection of passengers, but also of the industry from deadly terrorist threats, from infiltration, from narco-traffickers, etc.
Government's vision is for a modernized aviation sector that will facilitate the economy's growth, Nagamutu said, through expeditious movement of goods and essential supplies. Public Infrastructure Minister David Patterson said with the rapid expansion of the sector, it is due for a coherent reorganization. Government, with the assistance of the IDB, will be developing a civil aviation master plan and a bill in relation to regulatory issues for the development and safety of the sector. Director General of the Civil Aviation Authority, Egbert Field, cited the need for the GCAA's work to be complementary to industry operators.
The purpose of this conference is to provide you with the kind of perspective on how the GCA, as the aviation safety regulator, is striving to take a greater leadership role in espousing the right safety behavior and attitude.
There are currently 12,000 persons employed in the aviation sector, contributing approximately 3.2% of the annual GDP. The National Aviation Conference is being held at the Pegasus Hotel under the theme Safety, the Pillar of Sustainability, and runs for 2 days and will see a number of presentations from aviation officials, both local and international. InfoHub's Paul McAdam now tells us that the Guyana Swine Producers Association has benefited significantly from government's $20 million investment in high-quality breeders.
Chairman of the association, Eric Anderson, says the sector's output has seen marked improvement.
One of our goals was to lift the level of productivity, and we have been very successful. We have been able to get the number of pigs forward on an average roughly 17 per sow per forage. That is the litter size. And that is necessary for us to be competitive as a farmer. So in terms of the technical coefficient, when compared with the international standard, we're right there now.
The production of high-quality meat, Anderson added, has resulted in an increased demand for the locally produced pork and pork products.
Currently, there is access to market because what we recognize, more pork is being consumed. And consumers are now going for quality meat. They no longer want anything which they have to tear or pressure. This is quality pork, very little fat, muscle, skin to muscle.
Meanwhile, the association's chairman says it is thankful for government support and training received from the IICA in value-added pork and pork products production. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
Crystal Stull tells us that the University of Guyana's 51st convocation will see 3 different graduation ceremonies held in November.
The 51st convocation ceremony will be held in a 2-part session at the National Cultural Center on Turkan Campus, Georgetown on November 11, while the 3rd ceremony is slated for the Tain campus in Berbice on November 18. InfoHub spoke with the University of Guyana's Registrar, Dr. Nigel Gravesandi, who highlighted that the ceremony will be an historic one compared to previous years. He explained the decision behind the 2-part graduation.
The reason is that we have grown exponentially over the last couple of years. And there has been observed, certainly over the last 2 years, some parking nightmares. Secondly, every year we have noticed that the graduation ceremonies come longer and longer. And therefore, this year the academic board and the graduation committee thought, let us experiment and let us put in place a ceremony that would capture 2 events.
Dr. Gravesandi noted the graduation ceremonies will also include 3 guest speakers who are alumni of the University of Guyana.
The attention to give focused coverage to our alumni is to point to the current student population, the good things that have been happening to our student population, and to have them share their own experiences and their vision for our current students.
Last year's convocation at Turkan Campus, Georgetown saw a total of 1,628 students graduated with degrees, diplomas, and certificates, while Tain Campus Berbice saw a total of 224 students graduating. Crystal Stull for InfoHub.
The Guyana ExPolice Association of America on Monday presented a check for $2,100. The amount also includes support for the 5Bs initiative managed by the Ministry of Social Protection. Ronetta LaFleur explains.
Minister of Social Protection Amna Ali noted that the donation will benefit the nation's youths since it is in keeping with the government's agenda to ensure all children are afforded access to education. President of GEPAOA, Leroy Charles, explained that the decision to donate to the initiative was made last year during the memorial service of New York City Police Department Detective Terrence Holder. He was killed in the line of duty in 2015. Charles stressed that it is prudent to continue donating to the initiative since it benefits the children. Meanwhile, President of the Guyana-based association, Wade Cummins, said since the launch of the initiative, the association has been pleased with the progress thus far. The 5B's initiative commenced in July 2015 with the aim of tackling the school dropout rate at the source by ensuring children, irrespective of where they live, are able to attend school. To this date, with the partnership of private and public stakeholders as well as citizens, the initiative has provided 24 buses, 9 boats, and over 100 bicycles to children in various communities across the country. Renetta LaFleur for InfoHub.
In our final report, Bartica's mayor outlines some of the major ongoing projects that will aid in the town's development as a tourist hotspot. The town of Bartica in Region 7 is one of the most beautiful in Guyana. On a recent visit, InfoHub spoke with the mayor, Gifford Marshall, who shared some of the improvements underway in the community.
Early in the year, Cabinet approved 3 works, and that is Mount Gripper scheme where we are here, the access road to the 4 miles housing scheme, and also the by the Rubber Front Road. The 3 contracts altogether amount to just under 100 million Guyana dollars. Now, in addition to that, we'll have some additional road work starting very soon within the township of Bartica, some maintenance work, and we'll also have some maintenance work going on along the Patara Road.
Sanitation has been an issue in Bartica, and the mayor plans to address this by having a sensitization campaign for residents on proper and safe garbage disposal.
In that regard, we're working, of course, on putting major resources into our solid waste management, because we can't bring persons here and the streets are littered and the alleyways have heaps of garbage. So we're working feverishly to ensure that Bartica is a clean place.
A $41 million boulevard is currently one of the major projects being conducted to beautify the town and should be completed by the end of 2017.
That boulevard, of course, is one of our single most important and a very significant investment for the town council. And it's expected to bring in much needed revenue also for the municipality, while at the same time creating investment opportunities for persons right here in Bartica, and also boosting our tourism.
Bartica is aiming to become a green town. To that end, a green park is also under construction and is scheduled to be opened in November. Thanks for watching. Remember to connect with us 24/7 on our website and social media. Goodbye.